Welcome back to some Project Zomboid. So it seems to be that this series is going to be one where I intended not to record on a day, and I end up recording anyway because things didn't quite work out to plan. So I mentioned last episode that I was going to hike back to a little resting spot from the previous trip where the log stacks were, in order to find some more long sticks, saplings, that we can turn into long sticks, because we can make plant drying racks and other sort of drying racks. All of that is basically gated by long sticks, and they are super annoying to find. Well, it turns out those huge log piles had none, not a single long stick. So I thought, maybe since zombie population is randomized, maybe we'll be lucky and McCoy estate, the area is a little bit empty. But I didn't just want to go through the forest here, so I decided, let's walk along the lake, and maybe we can spot across the lake how busy it is to decide whether or not I want to go in there. Well, it turns out the lake is bigger than I thought, and it turns out, well, also we have a super foggy day, there's a camping site here across the lake. And they have another log stack that doesn't have anything in it. But anyway, I feel like this is, that is worth hitting the record button for. Now, I'm fairly certain it doesn't really make too much of a difference compared to our little lean-to, but if we ever go on a multi-day trip again, this is gonna be way more useful. Now, there's also some other stuff here. I don't think any of this can be picked up. The wooden stool could be picked up. There's also a matchbook here. An old newspaper. Oh, and what is this anyway here? This is a shelter. A hide tent. No, I need to hide. A whole matchbox, and then a campfire. Let's just put it out before any accidents happen here. I think too many people losing their characters in various fire-related clips on Reddit lately. Alright, apparently there's also another sleeping bag here. Not over encumbered. Alright, that's a good start. Let's have a chicken wing, and then we can try to have another look across the lake. I just don't think. I think the lake is way too big to actually see the estate. Well, kind of. I saw like 3 zombies there on the right hand side. Maybe if we carefully poke the area. Plus, maybe the fog might actually dissipate. Also, there's a second lake here that is not on the map, which kind of threw me off. Going all the way here. It seems so empty. There's also a couple things, since I had a couple of episodes pre-recorded, and so kind of some comments I'm gonna address here, even though I already replied also to the comments. I should definitely check with our chicken area that the chickens have enough food and water, because there's only one feeding trough in that area, and if that is full of grass cuttings or anything, then there's nothing that gathers water. They should be able to feed off the grass, but I'm not 100% convinced they actually do. So we might just... The problem is we can't create a feeding trough. Well, we can if we had a little bit more carpentry and if we had nails. So since this was only supposed to be a short trip, we only have the scythe in hand, and then the second backup scythe on the belt that I just put there, which also kind of not in top condition. So we're not going to be able to fight huge hordes of zombies. The reason why I want to check out this place is, first of all, more log stacks. Not giving up the chance that we find some long sticks. But also, this place comes with a huge veggie garden with pre-planted stuff. And also, there's a feeding trough there, a small one that we could take for our chickens. This is like, this place usually has like hundreds of zombies. Well, maybe not hundreds, but definitely double digits. So seeing just like 4 guys chilling out there feels really unusual. But hey, that's the whole randomization working in my favor for a change. So yeah, that was how the other stacks looked. Firewood, big logs. Nothing for the little man. So the idea of getting stuff from log stacks. Oh, somebody's sitting on the other side of the fence. I'm mostly concerned about weapons breaking here. A little bit of fence cheese. Just enough so we can save on weapon durability. And I was looking up, since we were talking about the saw the other day, there is something actually called a simple wood saw, which you can craft from with lower levels of blacksmithing. You can make a blade, a saw blade for that. One weapon broken. Deceptively quiet, the breaking sound of the stone scythe. I'm not a fan of. I like a big old pling, choink, you know, that kind of sound you usually get when weapons break. And you'd be like, oh, how did he, you know, get that sound effect of the weapon break authentically into the clip here? And it's, no, that was just me making the sound. Sapling, how are we looking for weight? Less than 6 out of 8, okay. Two saplings from the trip is not quite. I don't think I'm gonna try to get to those down there. But what we can try to do here is harvest some stuff. No. To get any value out of sunflowers, guess what? We need a drying rack. And we kind of also would need a seed press to make that into vegetable oil. It would be kind of a really big thing. We can get that because that also, you know, it turns out vegetable oil has a lot of calories. Very interesting how some of these have like one sunflower head and some of these are like 5 from one harvest. What about other stuff? I guess it's ready for harvest and blooming kind of thing. Might be running out of space in our backpack. Now there's also very little point to carry like 100,000 vegetables with us that are all gonna go bad by the time before we can eat them all. Are we getting any seeds from that though? Shouldn't we have gotten seeds from the blooming one? I don't know. Pumpkin seems a little bit heavy, but we can take some of the cauliflower here. The zombie's gonna trample all the crops. Please don't. What else do we have here? Watermelons? No. They are a little bit heavy. That's spinach. Now, if only we had any magazines that told us the planting months. I think there's some flax and stuff there. What do we have here? Turnip. Like, I'm happy about all the hunger reduction on these crops. Just a question of how long they're gonna be fresh. This thing has a weight of 5. We have no space left. We could attach that to the bottom of the backpack. Maybe leave some bell peppers here. This is a long way from home. Drink some of our water. Leaving some of the sunflower heads behind is probably the better option here if I want to get that feeding trough into the backpack. Okay, Still red overloaded. That's not great. I wonder if we only need to go below 10, because that should be easy, or if we need to go below 9. Ah, 10 is enough. Wonderful. Alright, well, with this semi-successful trip out of the way, I'm gonna head back home and I'll bring you back in as we get back to base and set up a little feeding trough for the chickens. And the other thing I need to do there, which I also was reminded of, I should double check all of our cows on the nearby pastures to see if we can milk any of them. But yeah, this is mostly going to be me just walking through empty fields. So through the power of editing, we're instantly back home. So, looks like the trough they have is currently being used for water. So let's place the second one. Good. Let me check on the chicken. Well fed, not thirsty. So I'm assuming they are actually able to eat themselves off the grass. But hey, get them a little bit here. It's gonna last them an eternity, I think. Alright, then I'm gonna unpack those just so that I have an empty one. Kinda check if we can actually milk. Well, first of all, we gotta check if they have any milk available. Right? It's a feed option. Milk option, yeah. No. If they don't have a baby, they're not gonna get milk. I mean, they don't need to give birth to a baby, but they need to be at least pregnant for them to get milk. So I guess that bull needs to get on with it, eh? That's what I'm paying him for. What about here? Oh, hello. Yeah, so the thing is, okay. So good news is we have a cow that we can milk. The bad news is there's very little that fits into the beer can. But it should do wonders for our calories. Just gonna say, like with high animal care, I've gotten like 40 liters out of a cow, a Holstein cow. So I don't know if I want to do that with a single beer can. I mean, we have 4 of those beer cans, so I'll come back because we are already getting underweight here. But hey, yeah, have a little pet. You deserve it. Good cow. What about you? Okay, no milk from that one. And these seem to have like plenty of feeding troughs that catch water. I guess the only question is the animal zone large enough? Yes. All the troughs are in the zone. Alright. Next up, let's get our spare equipment here. Spare tent, spare sleeping bag for future adventures. We go there. We have a whole bunch of seeds. So, large sticks. I don't know if that gets us anywhere. Let's see. We want to make drying racks. Large plant drying rack needs 6 log sticks. 4 for the small one. Yeah, 6 for the simple large one. Like this one, so it's kind of weird. So I don't think there's a technical difference between the large and the simple large in terms of what you can do with it. It's just different resources you need, and like, okay, we never gonna have nails. Racks we have plenty, so it's just long sticks again. Will we ever get out of the long stick phase? I don't know. Ooh, we have 2 more saplings here though from previous adventures, so we're not super far away. We're looking lakes, yes. Again, the idea is if we can get to napping level 4, then we can make the large egg sets. Should allow us to actually chop a tree or 2 before it breaks. I miscounted how many tree branches we need here. Alright, let's put the knives down here. Do we have more tree branches though? Chicken feathers, there are 2 more branches. It might be getting too dark to craft. Let's see. Probably also a recipe I want to favorite and put on my hotbar. Okay. Too full to eat. Trying to, it's messy here, right? That's no question. I'm just trying to find some place where I can drop some stuff then so I can find it again in the future. A little bit a resemblance of order. Like I started dropping the fire making stuff here next to the fireplace. Kinda made sense to me. Kinda made sense to me. Oh, what did I just say? Need like 300, less than 300 napping XP, which means we're gonna need like 10 more flint flakes. Before we do anything else, I'm gonna grab all the empty beer cans we have. And heck, give me all the beer cans. Go for a quick milking here in the morning. Water and a mixed can. Yeah, you know, I'm just gonna drink it up. And then I'm gonna actually empty empty all the cans. I wish there was a drink all option. It might also be that we're not gonna drink more. I was able to queue it up earlier. Now it won't let me. Just chugging 3 liters of milk here. Sure, why not? It did stop our downward arrow. So this might seem silly, also silly that I'm just drinking half a can here. Going up. We're going up. We're still getting full cans here all across the board. Not sure why this one beer can has low condition. The others don't even have a condition indicator. Alright. I'll take the small victory for now. Although we need to. So there's also the whole mechanic that if a cow has too much milk and you're not milking it, it will eventually stop producing milk. Which is especially a problem like if it doesn't have its baby yet. So the baby is not drinking and it's just basically relying on you to milk it. Alright, either way, what I'm gonna do is exactly this. Foraging, focus on stones. We're gonna be on the road because the road has abundant levels of stones, even though I never really find those abundant ones. Yeah, and I'm gonna scuttle around on and near the road and see what I can find. And maybe we can get that napping knocked out. So the reason why I want to prioritize this is with the flowers, the sunflowers. I want to make sure we can get them dried before they're no longer fresh. I'm not sure if you can dry them while they're stale, but you certainly can't dry them anymore once they're rotten. So that's why I'm kind of going to try to prioritize that a little bit. See if we can get the missing, I think it was 10 stones. I'm not finding anything else but stones, but hey, it's food. I'm taking food. Alright, foraging time for me. Just the minor update, because I don't showcase this often enough. High foraging skill. Look at all these arrows pointing to items that we're finding or foraging here. It's like this is what it is like, and everything that actually turns into a symbol of an item means it gives you XP, right? Normally, at least. Well, there we get some XP pop-ups. Maybe we need to get at least close to it. I don't know how exactly it works, but it's also, I've stopped discarding because otherwise I'm just going to be sitting around out of breath the whole time. Just picking up a couple food items here and there, but other than that, actually found a sapling so far. So maybe we actually forage a sapling instead of having to find chop down trees for one. But there's another sapling. Well, that puts us at 6. That should allow us to make that plant drying rack. Now, I haven't actually played around with the plant drying mechanic since they changed it. So it used to be just instant. You use the workstation and you instantly get the dried plants. Now there's actually drying time involved, which takes several in-game days. Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah, we can't pick it up. I often do with the large stones. So large stones will have a weight of 40, so it's a little bit on the heavy side. But I kind of pick them up and then put them on the ground just for later use. Yeah, anyway, so we got 2 saplings, 4 flint. Not the most amazing flint outcome, but as you also saw, I kind of got far away from foraging on the road and ended up foraging in the middle of the woods. And then I just got bounced around from one foraging find to another. Okay. So some things like clay I'm always picking up, even if I'm looking for something else. I still have clay flashbacks on our huge clay searches from previous adventures. And also, of course, every frog we find. We're building a frog army here. I think we're up to 5 frogs. Not logs, frogs. There we go, 5. Anyway. Sticks. Carving level up. It's grab, what was that? I think 6, maybe 8 racks. Get it, you're out of breath. Hold on a little bit longer. I've never worked with these saplings. Okay. Maybe actually sit down while we're crafting. Yes, we can. Okay, we're really out of breath. We need to take a step back here. Okay, large plant drying rack. Now, if you put it inside, then, you know, if it's outside and it's raining, your plant drying is taken a little bit of a step back. But, you know, we can't do it inside. So, outside plant drying rack it is. Right. Now, I hope that actually it's the large rack we need for the sunflowers, not the small one. Dry sunflower, yes. So I think we just drag it in here. We can do up to 20 at a time, which is perfect. We have 14. 2 days. Oh, isn't that looking lovely? You didn't even see that in the old system where you just instantly had it complete. There was just this wooden frame standing in your base, magically instantly drying leaves. Now, you see the sunflowers on there. Out of curiosity. So we can do sunflower, tobacco, wheat. I think we found wheat, maybe even some flax at some point. I'm still super over encumbered from this stuff. Then we also probably want to do more scythes. Back on the ground, eat the mushroom. I'm seeing now out of tree branches again. I don't know if we have one of those. I'm kind of tempted to just make one just to have one. We could, of course, also make flint saws. We don't need more than one, but it might be, since it's a level 3 recipe, it might give us more XP per flake. On the other hand, I'm also thinking the scythes, they're weapons. We need weapons, so might as well craft something useful rather than just craft for crafting's sake. What else? We just leveled up carving, didn't we? Check out here. What is the new stuff we can make? Cutting boards? Not sure that's survival priority right now. Large handles. Pipes. Oh, we can turn all the small handles into pipes now. Bone fork. Should do some bone crafting. Okay, I'm gonna head back out to the road to see if I can get the remaining couple stones we need. Like literally one stone. Hang on, weren't we just missing a tree branch for the last thing there? For the last scythe? Any tree branches in here still? Probably find a tree branch somewhere on the ground here. Level for napping. Expert napper. Right. So, with that unlocked, we should now have, yeah, large stone axe head. Which we need stone hammer and a large, smooth, flat stone. Which also usually just lying around on the ground. Yeah, I see 2 over there. Let's just grab both of those. On side note, I mentioned my previous wilderness run that I did a couple months ago at this point. There was a patch while I was playing it where you could not pick up large smooth stones. They would just disappear and they wouldn't go into your inventory. This made the whole napping process and getting these a little bit harder. All right. 65 XP just for picking an item up from the ground. That is pretty fantastic. Okay, so make large stone axe. We're gonna need a large handle, and we're gonna need, assuming Rex will work fine, and some sort of knife. We have a stone knife somewhere. Just gotta get our tools in order. Okay. Also, I've been using that stone for all the surface crafting. There was like a table on one of the houses we passed by. Could have taken that up. Can we make a large handle from a large branch? I guess the... large handle, yes. So I didn't get any racks, did I? We still have plenty of racks, like half of our thing here, like 160 racks, and we even started turning racks into rack bundles because it was just a rack show here. Large stone axe. Need 2 of those. Now, large stone axe has a base weight of 3. It's not, and it's a very slow swing speed, I think. Like, it will still kind of wood axe like one-shot many zombies, but you're gonna have a rough time fighting with that. It's really more like like the wood axe. It's more like a tool axe, good for chopping trees. And good with a couple of air quotes. Do we chop down the trees in our own backyard here? Again, I'm not fully intending to staying here super long term. I think this is gonna be our place for a while longer. Or I miss not being a lumberjack. That's also going to cause some muscle strain, but there we go. Saplings, branches, logs for carving. And if we do this one, gonna be any faster. So there was, I'm not sure if it's still the case where it used to be that you wouldn't get maintenance XP if you use the chop down tree command from the right-click menu. So where there was actually a bonus to manually chopping down trees. I'm not sure if that's still the case. Not sure if that's enough of an incentive for me to manually chop down every tree rather than being able to right-click and speed up time. Okay, so what did we say? If we want to build a small plant drying rack. I think it was simple, small, I think 4 saplings. One more biggish tree, this one there, should do the trick. And now, still barely lost any condition here. Simple small plant drying. Okay, gonna need 6 wooden rods, so we might also take some tree branches with us. These are in a little bit of pain. There better not be any zombies nearby. Because we're starting to collect a few too many moodles for my liking. Give me wooden rods. What did you say? I think 6? So I'll just put it right next to the other one. And then actually not have the racks on me. We can dry stuff. So one of the problems that we had so far is, of course, all our food goes stale very quickly. In fact, yeah, our chicken is already stale. So some of the stuff we have here we might be able to dry, and then once it's dried, it's basically eternally preserved. Alright, let's rest up here. Get fully back into action. Then let's check what we can actually dry here. Basil, black sage. Now, I'm not sure you can craft different stuff here, right? I kind of also wish it would show you, like, it would only highlight what we have available. I guess none of the stuff that we have here can be dried, which is fine. Also, yeah, 1 day for that. Wish I had something else so I can test if you can have multiple different stuff on there, but I think it's always only going to be one recipe at a time, which can always build multiple drying racks, I guess. Get the uncooked stuff probably cooked up. I'll leave the racks here, the tree branch. Little place where we're walking. Still uncooked. Let's throw the other tree branches away. So I think the next order of business is gonna be working on getting the level 4 carving. So if I remember correctly, we had a bunch of recipes there that we can unlock. That were behind that level. Let's have a quick look here. Carving. So not so much interest in what we have right now, but rather, yeah, the bucket. The bucket is the big thing with carving 4. And the spade. Spade with the sack that we found very early there will allow us to collect clay and collect sand, which we kind of need to work with the bucket to actually make clay cement. And then we can do stuff like building menu of masonry. This thing, the stone cabinet. 10 stones, easy to gather, large smooth flat stones. Yeah, we know how to get those. Bucket of cement. And then we can make little stone shelves and no longer have all the stuff on the ground everywhere. Looking forward to that. Put out the fire. And then we can work a little bit of masonry, and as I said, like first order of business, as soon as we get some masonry levels, is get a fire pit that is not out to burn me at the first opportunity it gets. Too full to eat more. Still going down in weight. Ow! We were at an up arrow just a couple hours ago. I guess it's time to drink all the milk. Weird happening there. Why not drinking? Why just unpacking and then not drinking? Give me that up arrow. I want to go back above 75. There we go. You know, all I had to do was ask nicely. Okay, so before we end it here for today, I'm gonna head over and see if we can squeeze out some more milk of that poor cow. We gotta name these animals, right? So even if we move, we will eventually move base. I still want to kind of build my own little compound in the middle of nowhere. Oh no. Oh, that's ready for milking. Why do I not have the milking option then? I think I need to unpack the battle. Yeah, since we have a bunch of animal trailers that we know where they are, we're gonna definitely relocate some of these animals here to a potential new base spot. I still find it kind of funny that finding those beer cans there on the second day or whenever it was one of the best finds we had so far. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna probably have a day in between here, this time for real, where I'm gonna chop down a couple more trees, do a little bit of carving, and maybe even see if we can find some sand for that clay cement thing, and then we'll do some building next time around. For now, I'm gonna put a cut in here, drinking my milk. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.